Here we are in Contractville, and what I've taken here is a demolition mission. And what I'm going to try to do is go through some of the things I've discovered on my own, some things that uh, took me a little while to catch on to in these different types of missions. This is an amazing game so far. I've put in a chunk of hours on it. I've built up a little fortune. Well, not a fortune, but I got about $346,000. I've built one house on my own. I built a couple as part of a job. I've done some upgrades to my base that I can show you in another video at some point. But right now, what we're going to do is go through a demolition mission, and you can see this one's for Johnny. And I've got 103 walls to demolish, 134 pieces of trash to take care of, and then I got some furniture to take out. Now, one of the first things I do in going through is I look for a bed. I'm not sure if there will be one still in this office, but a thing you can do if you don't carry a bed around with you in a box is if you find a bed, even a dilapidated, broken one, when it gets to nighttime, if you don't want to keep cleaning during the night and you want to nap, like if there was an old junky bed here, even though it's broken, you can still sleep on it. And that can help you race through the evening hours and get so you can see again. So the first thing we're going to do is pick up some trash, and you click on it. You right click on a piece of trash, and that brings automatically up your trash right here, your trash bag. And you just click on each piece to do that. Another thing you can do is just click and hold and move your mouse around. So you don't have to click each one. You can hold and pick up the trash. So as you move through, just keep your mouse button going and it'll keep gathering. And occasionally you'll get to one where it doesn't. You'll have to click again. But it usually, like right now, I've got the mouse button held down, but it's not picking it up. Oh, that's why. The other thing you do is you've got these trash bags and you don't want to carry them all the way down. Just come over here and hit Q and you can drop them down without having to run down and get them. Now we'll go through and makes the picking up of the trash a bit easier to not have to sit there and hold the button down. And I'm not sure what triggers it to stop, auto clicking with holding down, but I think it's probably just maybe there's a max number it can do in one shot. So like here again, I got to press the button again. Oh, bag is full. Come over here, drop it outside. That is all in one button sweep, but now I've got to do the button again. Okay, that's enough of that. To take down furniture, no matter how big the piece of furniture is, if you get back to the hand tool and hit R, it packs into a box. Now, whether you've got a dresser the size of King Kong or a light switch on the wall, it always creates a box. So you could have a decent sized box and it'll still take you, let's see, there we go, right click. It'll still produce a full box, which is kind of weird, but it's also another thing like when you're doing walls with paint or stucco, you can have a wall the entire size of the house and it'll use the same stucco as a wall the size of this door. So it's kind of funky. I don't know if that's something they'll change later on, but for now, it kind of makes things a little bit easier. And let's see here, broken seat. Got to remember to get out of your hand tool and then, or your trash can, and then you can start gathering. And again, I just dump it off the side so I don't have to go up and down the stairs. Now, doors are interesting. Sometimes you have a door, you can just hit the R key and get rid of it. But you see these screws here on some doors, like when you're doing a refurbishing mission, you'll have to unscrew it to get it to come out. And when you're installing a door, you'll get it, you'll click it, and you'll put it in place, and it won't give you the credit that you've installed it because these tiny little screws will be yellow, and you've just got to get your screwdriver tool and screw them in or out. So that's something that took me by surprise. But for now, doing a demolition mission like this, you can just click the button and get rid of this stuff. And let's see here. We got another chair. And now we'll go downstairs and we can go back to our, you just click on it and it'll automatically bring up the trash. You don't have to select your trash in the radio menu every time. And then, you know, you can hold down again. And now go back out here and dump. So these missions are pretty cool. I'm not a terrible fan of the decorating missions. I'll probably do a video on them, but they're kind of a pain. And they're not quite what I'm in this game for. I like the business simulation part of it. I don't want to play Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and redesign people's houses and stuff. It's just not my bag. And let's see here. Go back over here. Click to dump the trash again, or to pick up the trash. And other times you get rid of that. Double click. There's trash hiding under things. So that's another thing to watch out for. And over here, just go through this again. And then radial menu. I keep wanting to hit tab to get to the radial menu. It's just something about this game that's different from some of the games I've played before that I'm going to have to get used to, is not going to tab, because that tab brings up the menu and such. So now, when you've got pieces of furniture like this, a wardrobe, you just pack it into your vehicle. And then the best thing to do with those is to take them to the pawn shop, where the pawn shop will buy it back. And you can make a little bit of money off of it. The trash, I'll show you in just a moment once I've got these things stowed away. The garbage is where you make a good chunk of money from this stuff. Now, if you look over here, we have the bag, the trash bag that you've gathered, and it keeps track of what's in there. You click on that, and it'll pop out, you know, that one was paper. This one might give you a few different things. It depends on what you picked up. It keeps track of what's in the bag, which is pretty cool. And one thing you'll see as you keep dumping trash here, you'll see that the number of boxes queued, like it'll spit out one box for each kind, and then it'll give you here what is queued up behind it, like how much you've gathered. So I know that I pull this plastic box away, I'm going to have 4 other boxes that'll come out successively as I clear them out of the way. So that's something cool. We'll go in here, pick up the last of the trash, and then a quick look around to make sure I didn't drop anything off the sides on the back of the building. When you want, you can just hit Q to empty the current garbage that you have, get rid of the trash tool, and there you go. You've got some recycled boxes. These boxes, you can make money as well. You've got these that you'll take to the pawn shop, and these that you'll take to the specialty factory where you sell your recycled goods. Or if you've got the ability yet at your base, you can start compressing these. And I can show you that. I've made a lot of money compressing this garbage, but there's a barrier to entry on that, meaning that you've got to buy the upgrades necessary. So right off the bat, you won't be able to. But this is a good way of making some extra bucks from a job like this, on top of what you're going to get for completing the mission, is getting the recycling. And if you don't need the cash right away, selling these as they are, you can start stockpiling in your storage when you've got that built, these boxes, and you can go through and recycle them later. So just to let you know quickly what you can make from these, I took 2 of these recycled paper boxes, the blue ones, and I sold those, and I got $330 for the 2 boxes. Then I took 2 of these boxes that I compressed, and then I sold the compressed paper, and that was about $660. So you can do a bit more than double your money by compressing them. So 2 of them separated, $330, and 2 of them compressed came out to like $660. Your prices may vary. I don't know enough about this game yet to know if those prices fluctuate based on some kind of market, but I think they might be static. Now the next stage, we're going to leave the stairs there for now, but the stairs you will take out like any other piece of equipment. You just hit your R button and wait for it to cycle, and it boxes them up. But for now, we need to be able to get upstairs. Now, the fixtures we have to take out as well, the windows and the doors. And once those are out, then we can start sledgehammering. And I can go through a couple of little tricks about the sledgehammering. You don't take fall damage. If you want to get downstairs quickly, you can just jump. You don't take any fall damage because you're super contractor. And let's see, no more doors here, no more windows here. We should be able to start slugging. So the radio menu, you come over here to your demolish tool and you give it a hit. Now you'll see these little spider webs come up. This wasn't something I noticed right away. If you hit one of those, you get an extra effect for your demolishing. If you were to just hit those spots, they're like weak points that are more effective. If you take, okay, let's take a couple of walls and just test this little theory. We've got 2 walls here, not with windows. Take this one, the upper floor. Okay, we got to do ceilings first. So we're going to do this one first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 hits to get that down by not pressing the pressure points. Okay, we got the first one. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it saved us 3 hits by using the pressure points. There isn't one on the first hit, but if you go to those in successive hits, you can speed things up. Another thing is you don't need to keep hitting the button. You can just hold the button down, but where you'll hit, you may not have as much control over it. Let's see if I can hit these 2 while just holding down the button. Okay. You can see they highlight orange when you've got them properly selected. And you've got quite a little range on it too. So it averages around 5 if you are using the things, and I believe it was 8 we got for not using these weak points. So it's just kind of a little mini game as you're demolishing things to make it go a little bit faster. And again, I think there is a limit at first on how much you can get in one trigger squeeze before you have to hit it again. And that might be connected to your leveling up when you get your skills as you level up. That may have a bearing on that. So now it's just going through and demolishing about 90 more walls. You have to beat up the roof, then you take the upper floor walls, and then once you've done the upper floor walls, you do this ceiling here for the bottom floor, and then you move down to the bottom floor. Once we get the top floor done, we can just pack up the stairs, and those can be sent to the pawn shop as well. And I know some of these tips for people who have been playing for a while are going to appear obvious, but it's not always obvious to people who are new to the game, of course. Someone who's finding this is their first video on this game, hopefully it helps you out. And not everything comes as obvious. Like being able to hold down the button while I was picking up the trash, I just stumbled upon that. So if I can let somebody else know a little earlier on in their experience, then that'll be helpful for them. And that's my main thing, is I spend a lot of time looking for guides on how to do things that I get stuck on. And if there's no guide for it, I will try to make one. One of the first missions you have as you're going through the regular missions was replace a staircase. And I could not figure out how to get rid of the old staircase. I was trying to look for screws that might be on it, like a window or a door. I tried with the sledgehammer. I tried to put the staircase over the existing staircase to see if it was just replace the old one. And it never dawned on me, just go up and hit the R key. Maybe I tried it, maybe I hadn't. I don't remember. But I had that as an outstanding side quest for several game days until I figured out, oh, that's all I had to do. Now, either it was buggy or I hadn't tried it. But either way, I had to search all over the place to try to figure out how to get it done. The other thing, when you go to do one of your first construction missions, you have to buy the planner upgrade. And I was having a hard time trying to find out where that was, the planner upgrade. It's behind the hardware store. And you don't do anything else there other than buy those upgrades. So that little chime says I've picked up all 134 pieces of trash. So there we go. And now I'll just go ahead and take the stairs. Since I was just talking about that, I will drop them off here, and then I'll drop myself off, and then I'll start working on this floor. Now you get the little, you can finish the mission now. And I'll go show you. You can finish the mission now. If you click on it, you get whatever progress, you'll get a scaled back version of the reward. Like no bonus pay or anything like that from it. It shows 51% complete, so I can finish this, but I'm not going to get everything out of it. Another thing to watch out for is Sometimes on the big building missions, I was on one and it was just way more than I wanted to handle. It was deconstruct everything inside of it, haul off all the trash, and then go through, take out all the fixtures, and then you have to go buy like 100 different things to put into the house to decorate it. And I got about 25 items into that house, and I was just, this is not fun. And I basically bailed out on the mission as soon as I was able to finish it early. That's what I did. I got partial credit, but it was freed up. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I do not like the redecorating missions. As far as I'm concerned, my Contractville experience is going to be building homes, buying property, building homes, transporting missions, demolish missions like this. But when it comes down to buying furniture, I may buy toilets and sinks, stoves, refrigerators, stuff that you'd find in an apartment that was ready to rent. But I'm not going to go through and pick out flower pots and crap like that. I didn't sign up to Contractville to play Holly Hobby or Strawberry Shortcake. I want to do this stuff. So if that's not your thing as well, there's a few missions where there's no way around it. You have to do the mission, but doesn't mean you have to do it all the way to completion. You can end a mission early, still get credit for it. You just won't get as much money off of it, or fame, or whatever. So it just depends on the experience you want. And I'm kind of at the point where taking contracts, I may not have to take any more contracts from others if I don't want to. I can just start, building homes or flipping them, taking some crappy home that's already existing, go through and, demolish everything, recycle the goods, and then, restore it, flip it, or just build from scratch. Those things would be cool. But I'm never gonna, build a house furnished. It's whoever buys the house from you is gonna have to come up with their own crap. I don't want to do that. And it looks like that is gotta go too. And let's see here. Get out my silver hammer and bang bang. If this is tedious or boring, feel free to skip ahead if you want. But I think this demolition mission is pretty much the only thing easier mission-wise is, transport missions where you just load everything, drive it someplace, and deliver it. And you can make some fairly good money at that. But the main thing I like about these demolition missions is it is a mission, and it will help you get started. And there are easier ways to do it. And to demonstrate that, I need to take a mission to show you. I'm at level 15 now. But I've been having a blast with this game. It's pretty addictive. But it is, again, there's so much to this game. You can still have fun avoiding the things you don't like. And not like the things are bad. There are some things about the demolition missions, it'll give you when you go shopping. Like I've got the online store now so I can have items delivered right to the job site. I don't have to drive out there and collect them myself. But knowing what to order, like part of the mission will be, order a luxury cabinet. And then you bring up the marketing tool and you've got, several different kinds of luxury cabinet. And, it could be bathroom cabinets or kitchen cabinets or living room cabinets. And, you know, it ends up just being, a hassle that I don't want to be part of. And let's see here. Almost done with this mission. In this episode of Sledgehammer Simulator, getting dark now. This is where if I had a bed with me, I could nap out, but I'm almost done. I can handle this amount of dark. But yeah, since you can pack up a bed in a box, you could just pull it out, set it next to your truck. As you load the truck, it can be the last thing you put back on. And then you just unpack the bed and set it anywhere so you can take your nap and wait till morning. That's just a tip that I've got so I don't have to go, running back to the base. And again, if you're on a mission like this and there's a bed left behind, no matter the condition, if it's set up, you can use it to sleep till morning. All right, so now we've got all that. There's still some stuff here. You can put trash using the trigger key, the left mouse button. To take trash, you hit E. And now that I've done that, I can bring up the trash tool and then hit Q. And now I have a bag that was all of that. And I can just stow it on there. Look at that. Perfect fit. Now you come here, you get 100% credit, and finish. So that brought me up to 360,000 bucks. And now, let me look at the map. We want to get back down to here. Not here. There we are. Our base is here, our office is here. And our advanced factory is there. That's where we sell our stuff. But one thing at this stage in early June of 2025, if you watch the GPS on my map, it goes away on me a lot, where I cannot track my way home. I don't know what in the world is on top of my... Looks like I got a staircase railing suspended above my vehicle. Arrgh. Okay. That's the other thing that's cool about this is your vehicle seems to be indestructible as well. And here I am going around with a staircase halo over my truck. So again, this is a new game. I'm sure things like that will be taken care of at some point, but it's amusing for now. As long as it doesn't stop me going under overpasses or anything like that, I'm fine. 66 miles an hour for this truck. I won't be traveling back in time. I just cannot make it to 88. Now we'll go back to the lair. And, well, first let's go, yeah, I already passed up the pawn shop. So let's go here. You've got the selling point there. And right here, you've got the back gate to the base. And you'll see my most impressive add-on is my windmill, which gives me some free power. I also have the fuel system there where I can fill up the fuel, and then there's a generator, and then there's the switch house. I will pull in here and show you a little bit of trash compaction. All right, I'm out. Oh, I left my machine on. I'll put it back into a stop position. Luckily, my power is free. Okay, so we got that there. We tossed it into our home sorter, and we'll run off and load it here. You put 2 pieces in, close it, then you gotta lock it, and then you turn on the machine, and then you can start your compression. Now, of course, for this to work, you need to have some electricity supplied, and that's where my windmill comes in. I was using the gas generator, but by the time you got through a truck full of garbage, you would go through, you know, quite a bit of fuel. So getting the upgrade to the windmill or solar panels is probably fantastic. I also got a battery upgrade, so that helps. And I'm hoping at some point there's like a quality of life enhancement, or in this, I haven't hired any staff yet. I would be really happy if this is a job you could make your staff do, because it is tedious. Close both doors, do both locks, hit the hammer, and then you gotta wait for the compressor to come all the way back up to be able to unlock, open, and then move. That's metal. And you can't mix your trash. If you got a metal in there, you've got to put a second metal in there. And then, of course, don't forget to lock it. If you don't lock it, you try this. Make sure your door is locked. When you're going through a ton of garbage, this will be tedious. And then, you know, there's like 3 different buttons you can be pushing to do parts of this. So, and let's move this here. The waste like this, the garbage, cannot be compressed. So that you just take over as it is. And then I don't have any more yellow, so I'll stick that over here. Green. Green is glass. Lock that up. But again, you can make some pretty good money doing this if you can tolerate it. So glass, plastic, metal, paper. I have a green there. I'm gonna stick that over there. So what we make off of this will be above and beyond what we made off the job. put all our stuff back in. And there we go. Oh, how did that happen? The Phantom Stacker. You left click to grab it, right click pointing at one of the boxes that are already there to get it to stack. If you try to poke down here, you end up dropping it. So you gotta get some good muscle memory built up on how to do some of these tedious tasks to make them a little less tedious. Now I'll go back over here, shut off my machine, close the doors, hop back in, and then I know there's more to recycle, but I'm gonna move forward. I bet that staircase is gonna be up there until I reboot or, restart the game. But I am going to test that by going over here. I'm going to sell my metal, and then I'm going to go to the pawn shop to sell the furniture, and maybe the staircase will leave with its box, the ghost staircase. So we got the pressed paper is over here, the blue one, and we'll stack the plastic over here on the yellow one. And it tells you down in the tooltip in the corner what you've got in your hands. And this is plastic again. And I'm sure at some point I'll get so that I can recognize it just by looking at it. But may not. And then your regular waste that can't be compressed any further goes down here. And then you come over here and you can see what it's going to give you. You click E to start the process. You can see the process bar as it goes through its process. And when it's done and it reaches the end of the bar, pops up a ticket. Just click it, the ticket. And you can go this way too, so you don't have to wait for each one. And then you go back here and wait for the tickets. And I believe just about everything that I got out of this recycle load was from the job we just did. So we come over here to the clerk and we click E and then we redeem these tickets. And there we go. We got about 6,000 bucks. And if we look at our mail, if we hit tab and then go to mail, if you had taken out a loan, I believe I've paid off all my loans, but if you had taken a loan, every time you get paid, they deduct a portion of it for your loan payment. And these are store sales and stuff. But we've got a build mission, decorate mission, another decorate mission. These decorate missions, never going to take them. I mean, if I have to, I have to, if I can't get rid of them. But I would do a build mission, something like that. But in the meantime, let's head over to see if we can get rid of our phantom staircase. So what we're going to do is, if we go in the back door, if you can shoot through those with your truck, which I never can do. Go to your exit. To get to the main street, you can take a few surface streets, or you can just yeehaw and Dukes of Hazzard right over here to the main road. We've got the furniture store, hardware store. Where we're going is our pawn shop. Come in here. Zoom across. And then what you do is you just take all of your goodies and you stick them on the sale plate. Loading dock, whatever they want to call it. Staircase is gone, so it must have traveled through there. Just come up and you hit E to interact, and this will tell you what you're getting for each piece, like 468, 145. That's all the stuff that you recovered from the site. Hit sell all, and I think we made another 1,600 bucks or something like that out of it. And then you're back, and you can move on to your next adventure. And with that, I will go ahead and end this mission, end this video, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks.